There is an absolutely fascinating and chaotic war that has developed between Donald Trump and the Republican Party. It has the makings of exactly the type of chaos that could endanger both Donald Trump's political future and also the viability of the Republican Party in the 2022 election cycle. And not surprisingly, this is all about money. Back at his CPAC speech a couple of weeks back, Donald Trump announced that he was not yet announcing whether he would run in 2024. He said, we'll see how it goes, but that for now, donate to him at donaldjtrump.com so that through his Save America PAC, he can support the right Republican candidates in 2022. And he also went on a very long rant slamming certain Republicans. Remember this?
Democrats don't have grandstanders like Mitt Romney, Little Ben Sass, Richard Burr, Bill Cassidy, Susan Collins, Lisa Murkowski, Pat Toomey. And in the House, Tom Rice, South Carolina, Adam Kinzinger, Dan Newhouse, Anthony Gonzalez, that's another beauty, Fred Upton, Jamie Herrera Butler, Peter Meyer, John Katko, David Valadeo, and of course, the warmonger, a person that loves seeing our troops fighting, Liz Cheney. How about that?
So what is this all about? Quite simply, this is about Trump wanting to control the Republican Party and to be kingmaker. Trump doesn't yet know whether he will run in 2024 because it's not clear what his position in the Republican Party is going to be at that time. That's almost 4 years away. For now, most voters in the Republican Party still support Donald Trump, but many Republican elected officials don't. And Trump's best path to 2024 is to be a kingmaker successfully in 2022. In order to do that, he needs to control the donor money of the Republican Party. And this has set up a major propaganda and legal battle between Donald Trump and the Republican Party, which is just exploding. The Republican Party says it has the right, period, to use Trump's name and likeness for fundraising purposes. Donald Trump has sent the Republican Party a cease and desist letter saying, stop using my name, stop using my likeness to raise money for the Republican Party. Trump wants to raise the money himself for his PAC and then decide who to support in 2022 and which Republicans to try to primary and remove in 2022. And he doesn't want to be competing with his own name and image used by the Republican Party to raise money, maybe, as he would see it, to support the wrong Republicans. He doesn't want his name being used to raise money by the GOP to then support the reelection of Liz Cheney, for example, or Mitt Romney, for example. So the legal battle is going to continue. I don't know how that will go. I mean, does the Republican Party have a right to monetize a former president's name and likeness? I don't know the answer to that. That's a legal question. But in the meantime, Donald Trump has released a wild attack letter, the likes of which we've never seen ever from a former president against their own party, writing yesterday in a statement by Donald J. Trump, no more money for rhinos. Rhino means Republican in name only. They do nothing but hurt the Republican Party and our great voting base. They will never lead us to greatness. Send your donation to Save America PAC at donaldjtrump.com. We will bring it all back stronger than ever before. A former Republican president is saying, do not donate to my party, to the Republican Party. Donate to me instead. A former president sending a cease and desist letter to their own party saying, don't mention me in trying to raise money. And so this is unprecedented, of course, but it's a grift on a few different layers. First of all, Trump wants to control the money because that's Trump's whole life. Control the money, not someone else. That's been Trump's entire career. Number two, Republican voters are willing to donate some amount of money each election cycle. Trump wants it to go to him rather than to someone else so that he can play kingmaker. Secondly, Trump can't tolerate any dissent. So he has this list of enemy Republicans, rhinos, who he might even try to get primary challengers against for 2022. And he wants to control that. That's another reason why he says donate to him, not to the Republican Party. And third, he wants to keep his options open for 2024. And in order to do that, him controlling the Republican Party in 2022 is the natural and most obvious path. Now, there's maybe a fourth, which is Trump maybe can use some of this money either towards campaign debt or keep it if he does eventually run in 2024. Instead of using it in 2022, that really depends on the specifics of how this PAC is set up. I emailed a couple of lawyers this morning asking whether this is possibly what Trump is also doing. Haven't heard back yet, so we'll look into that more. But that's potentially the fourth layer of the grift. And that's what Trump did with his fundraising. I think it was 70 something million after the November 2020 election, saying, give me money to try to overturn the election results and fund recounts in Georgia and all this stuff. He kept most of the money for his own campaign debt. So that's the latest with Trump. Trump and the Republican Party now, they're officially at war. Trump declared war against a certain slate of Republicans at his CPAC speech 2 weeks ago. And now Donald Trump declaring legal war against the Republican Party, sending a cease and desist letter. One of our sponsors is Sussman and Hahn. Sussman and Hahn has everything you need when it comes to face masks and other supplies to stay safe during COVID-19. And Sussman and Hahn is the company that I've personally been going to for face masks and other PPE because I trust the products that they sell. And that's actually why we reached out to them about becoming a sponsor, because their prices are reasonable, ordering is simple, everything ships within 24 hours, and they just have high quality products for this global 100-year pandemic. They've got surgical masks, KN95 masks, N95 masks, other useful things like infrared thermometers, face shields, sanitizers. Sussman and Hahn is also an awesome company because they've donated over 65,000 masks so far to healthcare institutions. Shipping is free on orders over $150. You can go to their website by going to davidpakman.com/mask. The link is right underneath this video, and they'll give you 20% off when you use the coupon code DAVID.